honestly think so few followers of Jesus have really encountered the kind of grace that Jesus came to make available. So many of us are still walking around in condemnation, feeling like we're not good enough, feeling like we're not under the grace of God, maybe feeling guilt from past sin that still has present power in our lives. And so many of us work to get ourselves free, but we often don't understand grace is the key. That's how we actually get free. Grace is unearned favor that brings incomparable freedom. There's no other freedom in the world like the kind of freedom that grace comes to bring. In Galatians chapter 5, we have the fruit of the Spirit listed, meaning the evidence that the Spirit of God is alive and free and working in your life. And these fruits are love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and gentleness and self-control. Those are all expressions of freedom. Like if you're living that way, you are living free. And that freedom comes not because we work at it and not because we earn it or deserve it, but it is a free gift of grace. So Galatians 3:11 says this, "Now it is clear that no one is justified before God by the law, because the righteous will live by faith." Paul here, as he's talking to the Galatian church, is contrasting these two things, the law and faith. Let me define a few things here and try and help us understand what's being said here and how it applies to our lives. So the word justified and the word righteous both kind of have a similar meaning, and they're interrelated in Scripture. What justified means is to be not guilty before God. That's what it means to be justified before God, to be not guilty. Doesn't mean to be innocent before God. It means to be considered not guilty. Y'all know the difference between innocent and not guilty? You know, the difference is innocent is I didn't do anything wrong. Not guilty is you did something wrong, but you won't have to pay the punishment for it. Okay, what justification means is that we are not guilty before God. And righteous is very similar. It means that we are in right standing with God, that we can stand rightly before God. People who want to be successful, people who want a great image, people who want to be impressive and to be noticed, all of the effort that they are putting into all of those things is actually this deep, childlike cry to actually be right before the God of the universe, to be good enough, to be seen, to be noticed, to be valued, and to be loved. It's the cry of the human heart to be justified, to stand righteous before God, even if we don't even realize that there is a God. It plays out in the way that we live our lives and the stuff that we go after. And what Paul is telling us here is that you will never be justified, you will never be righteous by simply following the law. The Old Testament law, the 10 commandments, plus the 603 other commandments found in the Old Testament that are attached to those 10 commandments. That's what the law is. The law was given as this is how y'all are going to live together in your freedom. This is kind of the family rules. This is the house rules. These are not the rules that make you a part of the family. These are the rules that we operate as parts of the family. Paul says it this way in Galatians 3:19. He asks the question, so why was the law given if it wasn't given for justification and righteousness? And he answers it. It was added, keep in mind added here, meaning God gave it after salvation. It was added for the sake of transgressions. You could say it this way, it was added for the sake of sin. Here's one simple way to understand the law. The law was given to restrain and reveal sin. That's why the law was given. It was given to restrain sin so that the Israelites would understand, like, this is how we should live together. And this is how it's gonna work. And this is what's acceptable and this is what's not acceptable and how we're gonna do community together. Paul's helping them understand the law was not given so that you could then stand rightly before God, because you'll never be able to fulfill the law. In order to stand rightly before God, it's a matter of faith. And the same is true for us today. If we want to stand before God rightly as not guilty, it's not about our religious activity. It's not about how good you are. It's not about how impressive you might be to your neighbors, to your family, or to God himself. That's not how we stand rightly before God. The only way for us to stand right before God is in the posture of faith. Faith is the key to our salvation. But deep inside, we kind of feel like in order to really be right before God, there's got to be something we're doing to get there. There's got to be something we're doing to grasp it. And let me just say this, that if you are working to grab grace, the thing that you eventually grasp is not grace, because it can't be grasped. It can't be earned. It can't be deserved. It's the very definition of grace. And so here's how all this beautifully works together. If faith is surrender and grace can't be earned or deserved, then the way we receive the grace of God is we stop trying altogether.